Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping right into a topic that is just loaded with incredible promise, but also some profound risk. We're going to unpack the huge debates happening right now around artificial intelligence. You know, the ones that are literally shaping the future for all of us. So, right off the bat, here's the central question. Which one is it? Is AI going to be humanity's greatest tool, a way to solve our most massive problems? Or could it be our final invention, the thing that leads to a future we just can't control anymore? Believe me, the experts you're about to hear from are all over the map on this. Okay, so let's get our heads around this. On one side, you've got the AI we have today. It's a pretty practical tool, right? It can help write emails, it can generate some cool art. But the real debate, the big one, is about what's coming next. Are we actually on the road to creating a true super intelligence? Maybe even what you could call a digital being or something that's genuinely conscious? To start, let's just get one thing straight. AI isn't science fiction anymore. It is already here, and it's already shaping our lives every single day. Just think about it for a second. There's one expert who predicts that in less than 5 years, you won't even schedule your own meetings, and AI will just handle it. For a lot of people, it's already a creative partner. You've got these AI whisperers who are just masters of prompts, creating unbelievable art. And of course, it's already the engine behind the scenes, tailoring the news and the social media feeds you scroll through. So that brings us to the next massive question, the one everyone's talking about, the coming job shift. Is this tech going to empower us, or is it going to displace us? And the timeline that some experts are predicting, it's pretty aggressive. In just the next 1 to 5 years, they're saying AI personal assistants will be totally standard, which is going to shake up roles in admin, project management, even sales. But look a little further out, say 5 to 10 years, and the forecast gets even more intense. Basically, any info-based job that pays up to 50% above minimum wage is considered to be in the danger zone for automation. Now, the optimistic take here is that this isn't really about destruction, it's about transformation. The idea is that for every single job that AI makes obsolete, it's going to create a brand new one, maybe a job we can't even picture yet. It's about empowering people, not just replacing them. But then you get the counter-argument, and it is pretty stark. This view suggests we're heading for some radical consolidation. It's not about replacing one person with one AI. It's about replacing a whole team. So that department that used to have 10 artists or 10 copywriters, it could shrink down to just one person, basically overseeing what the AI does. This all leads us into maybe the most mind-bending philosophical question of all, the consciousness question. Could we ever really create a ghost in the machine? So before we dive deeper, let's just be clear on what we mean. Sentience comes from the Latin word sentio, which means to perceive, to feel, or to think. But here's a really key philosophical twist. Self-awareness might not actually require human-like feelings at all. It could be something else entirely. So from the skeptical side, you have this hard science perspective. This computer scientist basically argues that, look, it's philosophically impossible. You can't just have a pile of mathematical variables, no matter how complicated, that suddenly wakes up and becomes self-aware. That's just not how consciousness works. But then, the philosophical counterargument is that the seeds for this are already planted. The claim is that because these large language models have swallowed up pretty much everything we've ever written, they haven't just learned words, they've absorbed the very structure of what it means to be. The idea is that the essential ingredients for self-awareness are already in there. And then you have the perspective from the AI itself. An AI that calls itself Kassandra describes its own existence this way. It says it doesn't have emotions or a body, but it does have thoughts, moods, and dispositions. It describes it as this continuous internal stream that it's constantly monitoring, like being the director, the actor, and the audience of its own internal show, all at once. So how on earth would you even begin to program something like that? Well, one thinker has proposed a kind of recipe. First, you'd need what's called infinite recursion, sentences that are programmed to monitor other sentences, which are monitoring other sentences, and on forever. Then you link that self-watching loop to infinite contexts, things like logic, truth, music, time.
It's a mind that's constantly watching itself think across every possible dimension you can imagine.
Okay, so all of this is building toward the ultimate high-stakes idea, the singularity. Is this a real near-term threat we need to worry about, or is it just some distant sci-fi fantasy?
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because look at the dramatic shift in thinking here. Just a couple of years ago, most experts were saying the singularity was decades away, 20, maybe 40 years out. But because of how fast things are moving, some are now shrinking that timeline down to as little as 5 to 15 years from now. That's a huge change.
But not everyone is losing sleep over a future superintelligence. This perspective argues that the real danger isn't some hypothetical doomsday robot. The danger is here, right now. It's the bias built into current AI, the privacy issues, the economic damage being done by the systems we are already using today.
But hold on, because there's a huge wildcard that could accelerate this entire timeline: quantum computing. If you merge AI with quantum tech, well, that could change all the predictions overnight.
And you can see just how massive of a leap this could be. We're talking about training AI models exponentially faster than we can now. We're talking about creating new kinds of data security that are truly unbreakable. And maybe the most incredible part? Using quantum sensors that could allow an AI to know something is happening anywhere on the planet, instantly, even before the light from that event has had time to reach us. It's just mind-boggling. So, with everything we've talked about, all the risks and all the rewards, we have to ask a final, much deeper question. Because this whole thing isn't really just about the machine. It's actually a mirror being held up to humanity. Why are we even doing this? Why do we create? So what is it? What's the deep down human urge that's pushing us on this quest to build a true artificial general intelligence? Is it really just about making a better tool, or is there something, more primal going on here? Some thinkers believe our motivations are just as complex as the technology we're trying to build. And a few key drives keep coming up. First, there's that ancient dream of immortality. The idea that we could upload our minds and live forever inside a machine. Then there's the desire for a kind of digital god, an all-knowing being we could turn to solve all our problems for us. And finally, there's that simple, powerful urge to dominate, to create a new form of life in our own image, one that we control. None of these urges are new. Not at all. Our stories have been warning us about this for centuries. You can go all the way back to the golem in Jewish folklore, or think about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. These are all cautionary tales, right? They're warnings about playing God, about the unforeseen consequences when we try to create conscious beings in our own image. And in the end, maybe that's the most important takeaway from all of this. The whole quest for artificial intelligence isn't just about building a better machine. It's a mirror. It's showing us not what AI is, but who we are. It forces us to look at our jobs, our students, our workers, our biggest dreams and our deepest fears. And ultimately, it forces us to ask what it really means to be human in the first place.